Welcome, guys, to All Things Creepy.
What's up, friends?
This is Lee.
I'm Patty. Nice to see you.
Welcome to All Things Creepy with Ghostly Travels. Tonight is April 22nd, 2025. Time is definitely flying by. Tonight's guests, we have Robbin and Ashley from Ashmore Estates. They'll be joining us here in about 9 minutes or so. But let's talk about a lot of stuff that we got going. Real quick on guests for All Things Creepy. Tonight, Robbin and Ashley. And then April 29th, Paranormal Rockdown. May 6th, we have the OGs of Dayton. A great group of lady ghost hunters out of Dayton, Ohio here. May 13th, we got Joe Shirley with 222 Podcast.
Joe Shortridge, isn't it?
Yes, I put, you know what, he's going to kill me, and I'm going to tell him because I went to school with Joe Shirley. He's probably like, what? When am I going to be on your show? But it's Shortridge, sorry. May 20th, Michelle and Brittany with Riverside, Iowa Paranormal. And then I'm looking for guests. The 27th of May, I got June 3rd open, June 10th. June 17th, I have a new paranormal team. Southern Ohio Paranormal Society will be joining us. Look forward to having them. And we're open through the rest of June and July. So I will be reaching out. If you know anyone that is looking to share whatever you got going on, we would love to talk to you. Like I say, all things creepy, right?
That's right. Teams, authors.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Aliens, abductions, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever you got, we would love to talk to you.
Yep.
Let me get into the comments. Let me say hello, everyone. We have a lot going on. Paravisions, Ghostly Travels. We have we started a YouTube / Amazon Prime team that consists of a Northern Ohio team and a Southern Ohio team that collaborated and started this team called Entity Explorers. We are in the filming process, and they will be released sometime in October. So last weekend? The weekend prior.
Yeah.
We were actually at our pilot up in Clyde, Ohio. This weekend, we're going to be at the Rhodes Hotel, Patty and I, with Pathfinders Paranormal Society and the North Central Indiana Spirit Seekers. Said it right.
You did. I was.
Yeah, did you look it up?
Yeah, I was like, what is it?
May 3rd, we're going to be at the Blackford County Jail doing an event. Hey, Jake. And May 10th, we are going to be at the Stone Mansion doing an event. May 24th, we're doing another filming for episode 2. June 14th, episode 3. Patty and I will be doing an event July 12th at the Bell Mansion. So if you want to come, get tickets. It'll be an awesome time. July 19th, we'll be at the museum at the Friends Home here in Waynesville, Ohio, doing our 101/investigation. July 26th, we'll be in Illinois doing another episode of Entity Explorers. August 9th, Paravisions will be doing another Bell Mansion event. August 31st, Patty and I will be with our friends Jenny and Bonnie at Indiana State Sanatorium. And September 6th, we're going to be doing another episode, Entity Explorers. And September 20th, Museum at the Friends Home. And then the rest is just pretty much for the filming for Entity Explorers. We did get a call for May 16th. Patty and I will be going to check it out in Dayton. They reached out to us, so we're looking forward to that. So it's going to be a fun summer, right?
Yes, fun and busy.
Fun and busy is good. Plus, vacations, family gatherings, things like that. We got to spend some time doing that as well.
Of course.
So, let's just bring in our guest. Want to?
Go right ahead.
Okay. And Ashley there.
Hi.
Hello, and there's Robbin. How are you this evening?
Not too bad.
Good.
Good. How
We are hanging in there. We're here.
I feel you.
Yeah. Right? With work and our schedule with paranormal is just like, I don't know if I'm coming or going. I just go to sleep and get up. Something else going on the next day. So, like tomorrow for work, I do fire. So, I'm going to be heading to Eastern Kentucky to look at 6 healthcare facilities and talking to the administrators. Oh, they're all close. I can get them all done in one day. I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to try it. So, full energy and off I go early in the morning. So, but it's great to have you guys on. I know there's been a lot of exciting things that has happened at Ashmore since we were there last summer with Bonnie and Jenny. And Ashley's now grabbing the reins, I hear, at Ashmore.
Yeah.
Are you excited about that?
Yeah. I think I'm still possessed or something. I don't know what happened. I think somebody held a gun to my head and I wasn't looking and didn't realize what he was doing. I don't know.
Listen to her.
He put something in her coffee.
He did. I was drinking the coffee and I didn't watch what he was doing. I think he slipped a little something and I was like, oh, that tastes really good. Let me keep drinking it.
You started doing this like, man, my face is numb.
Yeah, that's what happened.
And Robin's going, my plan is working.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's really good at that.
He picked a great person.
Aw.
Yeah.
How much did you pay him to say that?
Listen to her.
I won't say.
I'm just gonna take back everything I've done for her. So
Listen to him. He's got a soft spot. Shh.
That's funny.
it's dying quickly.
But it's all exciting.
No, it really is.
I'm sure
It's
you've
super
got
exciting.
a lot of things that you would like to do, and there's a lot of stuff that you guys are going to do together. And then I'm sure, Ashley, you're going to have things that you want to do a little different. So
Well, there's fine print that he can't see that I put on there that Ashley still needs adult supervision. So
Uh-oh.
There's nothing wrong with
he's
that.
not going anywhere.
No, he just giving him a little bit of break, I'm sure, right, Robin?
Mhm.
I don't know about that, but I'm that's the plan. We'll see. It may work out that way, but who knows? So
Yeah, there you go. We're going to be. Go ahead.
no, it was more of a long-term type situation, than anything. I turned 68 last year and had health problems and continue to have more health problems. So I was like, it's time to do something with this before it gets too late. And to me, it was not about the money. It was more about making sure I had the right person in the right spot.
And I think you did. I really do. Getting to come down, it's took me forever us to get down there, but when we were there last year, just to meet you two was phenomenal. And it felt like chemistry was great. So I think you picked the right person to keep, to help in. So, and for people that's watching maybe on YouTube right now or Spotify, I'm going to share something here. This is the building we're talking about.
That is literally my front yard.
Now, if she looked out her window, she could see that right there.
If I'm sitting in my recliner in my living room and my blinds are open, I can actually see down the 3rd floor hallway.
I just, the sun is going down. I just took that picture. I'm actually sitting in between your house and the building at this moment.
You probably are. It might look like that out there right now, honestly.
Yeah, it's a perfect time. I'm like, this is a perfect time of the evening. I had to close our blind a little bit because the sun was beaming through. But yeah, I just took that off of your guys' page, and I was like, I'm going to share that because some people don't know, what we're talking about, that may be just intrigued into the paranormal and like, wow, I've been telling people, hey, we're going to have some people that run a location on instead of just an investigator or someone like that talking about their stories. We're going to have somebody on that's just going to be a little different, that's going to be sharing stories like when they're working in the building, they're closing up, different, they're going to have different things they're going to share. So there it is, people. If you've never been, you need to go out and visit them. They got a lot of great things. They're at events. So definitely you want to check them out. So tell us a little bit about the location.
I'll let her tell you. It's she's into the building now itself. So plus my voice is about shot from being sick the last 2 months. So
oh man,
nice excuse. Like this story
works for me.
She's like, drink that coffee I made you.
So I'm going to show you. This isn't great since it's on here, but this is literally the camera that's on my house.
See, so you can see the building.
Literally is in my front yard.
See, so she's got it. She's watching everything goes on around there. So she is the ghost.
Yeah, and they don't stay in the building either.
No, because I will share when we were there. It was like, was that July? Yeah. We were out investigating late at night in the back because we slept in the bunks. And in the back right there, now I think you have your outhouse out there by that tree.
It's not too far from it.
Yeah, right in that area we were getting a lot of stuff with the direct link and the ghost box because I wanted to run an IDC and an ITC device to see what we got. And we were getting a lot of really good things. So, it's like, it was upsetting but it was exciting all at once. Like, the people that would just roam around here during the day that stayed in that building. The energy's all around there. It's not just in the building. It's all over.
Oh yeah. There's lots of people who go out to that tree now, especially now, that most people know about the tree, and they get all kinds of stuff out there.
Yeah, and I remember when Robbin, he was like, you need to check out the tree tonight. So we did, and I thought a great idea is to run different devices that does the same similarity stuff, but built by different people. And it was phenomenal to just hold the IDC, because for people that don't know what that is, that's direct link. That is directly to your energy as you're asking a question, to where ITC is just picking up through transitional radio frequencies, and it's going fast, 3 stations per second, and we were just getting some amazing things. And I know Jenny, she had me running all over the place, like, you got to check this place out, and I'm like, hey, we'll do that in a second.
I'm not surprised.
But what is the history on the location?
So long story short, we could be here all night, but it started out as the Coles County Poor Farm. The oldest part of the building was built in 1916. The newest part of the building was built in 1977. So it was a poor farm and then a psychiatric hospital. It did run as like your jump scare haunted house for a little while. And then most people know Robbin bought it in May of 2014 and has turned it into what everybody sees now. Kind of, the 5-star paranormal hotel, as a lot of people like to call it. So a poor farm basically was, a place that I always say that basically if society didn't want you, that's just kind of a place you would come. So, we had everything from orphans to widows to people with mental disabilities, basically just anything and everything out here at that time. There are children here, I believe, also, not just adult spirits as far as that goes. Yeah, what else? That's kind of the short version.
And like, do you know like the age range of people that actually stayed there?
Ages I've seen in some of the newspaper articles. I'm trying to think. The youngest I think I know there was a baby.
Wow.
I believe that I've seen in the newspaper articles as far as the poor farm, up to, elderly people.
Wow.
Yeah, people actually ended up dying there from old age. That they lived there the entire time. It was set up basically every county in the states had to have one. It's not just particular to Coles County. Everybody had those. And it was just a place where before the public aid system came through, this is where you went if you didn't have anywhere to live. And so back then, there was 300 acres. They were farming this ground and they were making produce and livestock out of it. And they were selling that to help, keep the building afloat and everything. And that's what they did. But it wasn't just a matter of a place for them to live. They had to work there. It was a working farm.
And then, like you said, they died there at, in an old age. So they were there for a long time. Hi, Jenny. And then she said, especially Robin Terry.
Man, right away, starting.
We're starting
stuff.
Stuff.
Listen to her.
Jenny, would she be anyway else?
Starting all this negative.
If she came in and said, hey, I would say, are you sick?
I'm surprised she's not sleeping, and they must not be driving.
I was just going to say she's either asleep or she's stirring shit up.
Yeah. Mom's not driving. So it's got that sad, because that's, if you didn't have nowhere to go, there's where you got dropped off. And then,
but I think a lot of times we're happy too, because like a lot of the pictures that we have, especially upstairs on the third floor, from like Sundays, that was like their rest days, so they could go outside and play or play music and hang out. A lot of them look happy. I mean, I think some of them, this is probably the only home they ever had.
Right, because you're talking like in that big area up on the third floor where you got all the photos.
Yeah, where the history banners and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they look happy. They didn't know any different, right? So we've got 24 hours in a day, so we're going to have to make it the best we can,
right,
with what we have. Jenny said something here.
I have no idea what she's talking about.
Can't have hoses around when I come in May. I think water hose, huh? I thought something like hose. Can't have hose around. Like what?
Hit him with it, or
yeah.
Oh,
she said you're not a troublemaker.
I think she's just trying to suck up, so she hopes I will try to hide the hoses before she
protect her when she comes in. May.
It's like, Jenny, you're forgetting who my who works under my wing, so to speak.
Yeah.
She's going to carry on traditions, trust me. So
there you go. Hose her out.
She's already started. Whenever something comes up, Ashley now sits there and is like, "What would Robin do?" And
it's bad.
And sometimes the bail money might have to come out. So.
Oh no.
Yes, so she's no water hoses allowed.
I make no promises. That's all I'm saying.
No, the energy in there, well, Patty and I, when we arrived, we were the first ones there before Robin got there or anyone, before Ashley walked over. And we walked around and
hey, shut up.
Yes, she did. She did walk. She didn't have a golf cart. No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm old.
You came back later with the golf cart.
Oh, I love you.
But But the energy when we were walking around, we walked around the back, and stopped at the tree, and then we stopped around the front, and we were there for probably 30 minutes before everybody showed up.
Yeah.
And because we're coming from Cincinnati, Ohio, and just being an empath, I was picking up so much energy just around right there, that door right there, just this little area right here between the truck and the door, for people seeing that. And I just started taking photos. So when we got in the front of the building, there was a window up on the second floor, almost all the way down to the end, to where like the bunkhouses are, where we go into the side of the building. That I felt like there was a woman looking out. So when we did an investigation up there, Bonnie was just like blown away, because we were having trigger objects set up throughout there, and the chairs and across the hall, and some of the little furniture you guys have displayed there. And wasn't we getting like the tripwire going off at the same? I mean, it was like a full typhoon going on through that second floor. And Bonnie was like, wow, we definitely got it stirred up. And I love investigating with her, because when we're usually with her, this one beside me always sees a bat, and Bonnie's the one like, here, I got it. And, she's doing Facebook Live, and she's shooing away the bat calmly, while this one's like, oh my God, don't let it get around you. But I love the building, and I got to get back in there. I was trying to make it with Jenny next month, but unfortunately we couldn't make it. I know, and there she is. She said, I wish you and Patty could make it. I wish we could too, because it's a beautiful, beautiful place, and great hosts and hostess. You guys will definitely enjoy it.
Well, and plus to have the ability to go out and crash out in the bunkhouse, and they are climate controlled, which was very welcome.
And I got to have a fan on, so I froze them out.
Yeah, it was hot as hell that night, so it was really nice to go in there and cool down and get some rest.
Yeah, and I said, hey, whoever's staying in our bunkhouse, don't come in and out all the time. Keep that cool air inside. So when we come in, we're going to freeze.
Yeah.
Well, and the bunkhouses aren't off limits to spirit interaction either.
Nope.
Also, you've had some experience, some people telling you some stuff there.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's multiple
I
people
don't
that have had
think there's
experiences.
a part of this, building, ground, anywhere that hasn't had something happen.
So you're never alone.
No,
No.
literally never.
What's some of the recent activity that really? Oh, and by the way, when we were there, we had a good time. You have your neighbors across the road, so they came back about midnight. They were drunker than skunks, and they have two little kids.
Still here?
They were bouncing on a trampoline, so they pulled their vehicle
so
up.
they're no longer here.
Oh, okay. That's a
probably
plus.
good thing.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
they
big
were
plus.
just up till like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do remember that now. Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like,
They're no longer here. None of them.
yeah, that's good. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
he has no respect. I mean, he was blaring his radio, and he's out there, so it's like, it's not like there's a house, someone's sleeping next door. So I'm like, is he going to stop?
It was just a full-blown family party over there, but
Yeah, the bar is closed or something. The cookout's over, so they're going to just keep the party going on at the back in the backyard.
Yeah, they were something.
Kidding. I went to the neighbors.
Yeah.
But you see her question for Ashley, a couple up. There you
Oh,
go.
Ashley, Jenny says, have you had activity in your home?
Absolutely.
I was going to say, you have to.
Yeah, right.
Yep. We had stuff over here even when we were building it.
Jeez.
Yeah. So yeah, we've had stuff. Yeah. We've
you
had footsteps. We've had shadows. Stuff being moved.
Heard voices.
Yep. Yeah. And numerous people have heard or seen things, not just me or Carl Wayne that lives here, my son. I know Robin's had stuff happen. Some of the other girls that help out doing the tours and stuff, when they stay over in the suite, I know they've had stuff happen. I have a roommate who actually, I call her my work wife because we work together during the day. She actually just moved in with me, and she actually just had something happen yesterday. She was sitting outside on the back porch, and she swears that the blinds on the inside of the laundry room door opened up like somebody was looking at her. So, and nobody was here but her.
That right there would be creepy.
Yeah. So,
I mean, you're getting some poltergeist, you're getting some movement. Yeah, that's a little.
Yeah. So
speaking of that, some poltergeist activity, have you ever had any of that going on inside the building?
Oh yeah, I've seen balls roll down the hallway. I've seen a ball get knocked off one of the tricycles. I've had a chair move once. I didn't actually witness it. But when I walked back in the room, it was moved from where it was when I was in that room before. So yeah, we've had stuff like that happen.
And people go ahead, Robin.
When Nick Groff was there in 2015, Lee Kirkland was putting everything away, and he had a microphone up on the second floor, sitting on the scaffolding up there. And he turned around and picked something else up, and the microphone ended up. And he said, "I don't know how it got there." He said, "I didn't see it, but it ended up about 10 feet away from the scaffolding. I heard it, and I turned around, and there was the microphone was laying about 10 feet away from the scaffolding."
Oh.
So he said it couldn't have rolled off. He said it couldn't have just hit the floor and rolled over 10 feet before I heard it hit the floor. He said, so I'm not sure what happened. But yeah, movement of stuff. They also caught on video a tricycle that took about a half a turn on the pedals. They were videotaping during Nick Groff. Lee was doing it. And he's like, did that tricycle just move? He's like, I think I got it on video. And you can see the pedals move, just, not a lot, but they did move some.
Holy crap. That right there, that's awesome evidence right there.
Yes.
And for those that don't know, it's a concrete floor. It's not a wood floor. So, you're walking across it, it's solid. It's not going to, it's not going to move like, a lot of places would, where it could trigger that thing to allow it to move.
Yeah. Wow. I feel like, as I recall, I want to say up on the second floor with Bob and Denise, I feel like I remember us having a lot of activity in the hallway, as if it were children playing with us and responding to us. I know we had the tripwire out. I think there were some cat balls and REM pods, and it was kind of on command responses. So I love when that happens.
And then the visit, we were there that night. Jenny says, "Hey Lee, let's take a location and go up into that location." So stupid me, I got the third floor where I was getting a lot of activity through the evening. So when you get that in your mind, you start getting in your mind, it's hard to get out of there. So I'm upstairs and I'm like, okay, nothing was really going on. But then I started seeing shadows, just like darting out of the rooms, like peeking around, like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you making these noises? I'm asking questions. To where at one point, I'm not a little guy, but I was actually getting terrified to where I was like, I'm going to grab my stuff and I'm just going to leave you alone now. Because it felt like it was just overpowering. And when I told them, when we went back downstairs, so Bonnie wanted to go up. So me and her went up. And, but yeah, third floor to me was very active that night. And then the boiler room, we were down there. That was off the chain.
Excuse me.
Seeing an apparition when we were down in there and we were looking at the steps to go back up to leave the area. We saw a shadow coming down the steps. 4 of us down there, and I'm like, you see that, right?
We did.
And you could hear it. But of course, where's the camera at? On my side, shooting behind me. As I'm like, can you do that again? And at that time, come on, one more time, please.
Yeah.
At that time, that spirit's already long gone. He's like, see you.
Like, you had your chance. Good job.
Yeah, you've already had your chance, Bucko. I'm out.
I had a group that I had actually talked to back in, I don't know if it was, I think it was 14, maybe 15. But I said, hey, there's a lot of stuff that goes on because I was on the third floor and was kind of basically chased out one day for, while I was working up there. And, but I told them, I said, there's a lot of stuff going on here during the day. You need to come out here. So they came out and they investigated during the day. And the first thing they got was about 9:30 in the morning. One of the guys knocked over a tripod and they caught an EVP. He's breaking stuff. Whoa. And they continued through the rest of the day. They came outside because I was out there working and they're like, if anybody, I said, they asked me, it's like, has anybody ever said anything about shadow figures in the hallway? And I'm like, I really don't, unfortunately, we don't talk to a lot of people that come out there, only because they're there. And then once they pack up and they're gone, and a lot of times they never contact you back. Sure. And you just maybe post their stuff or whatever. And so I said, I've had some. He said, because we keep seeing shadow figures peeking out of the hallways up on the third floor, second floor. And he's like looking down the hallway at us. So they went up there with potato chips and just snacks and sat there at the end of the hallway. And there was 3 of them that did it. And they're pointing down the hallway, the second door up high. And they're like, yep, I saw it. And so they're just watching it. And they went down because at that time we had a tree out front. And they went down to see if there was shadows coming from the tree. And they couldn't make it happen. And the shadows on the second and third floor, and especially in the hallways. Somebody else told me that it reminded them of Scooby-Doo. Like they go run from one room to the other room.
Yep. Yeah, well, and also remember when Lee and I had arrived and no one else was there yet, and we were walking around outside taking photos. If you remember, I was telling you that on the front side, kind of the street side of the building, up on the second floor, I had seen something pass by a window. Mm-hmm. And later on, when we got in there, that was a room that was actually closed off to us. So,
I think it was on the second floor by the nursing station.
Definitely.
Was it the porch?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because she said, there is someone in the building. I'm like, there is not. We're the only ones here.
Yep.
Yeah, I've had, I don't know how many people, once I go over there, and they'll ask me who's in the building, and I'm, well, nobody, because I'm opening the door and turning the alarm off. And several people will tell me that they see somebody watching them from the porch.
Yeah. And you got to think it could just be somebody keeping an eye on the building. Just that's their thing, and watching people come and go. Because when I was up on the third floor seeing all the shadows, they were just peeking out, just looking. Something told me to turn around. Well, then I turned around and I turned on my flashlight because I'm in pitch dark. There is the mischievous Rick Rose picture, and I'm like, oh, he's here. I know he's here. So I started talking to him, saying, it's weird not having him and all that stuff. And that's when I started hearing the footsteps. And I'm like, dude, if that's you, you need to cut it out because I'm about to bolt down these steps.
You really think he was going to cut it out?
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
Not him. No, because we investigated a house one time, and this had an old call system in it. And the owners was in there with us, a big old mansion. They just bought it. They live in it, and they were just having a lot of activity. Well, I come downstairs in the kitchen, and there's Rick talking to the owner. He goes, oh, man, he says, you caught me. She was going to set this up. I was just going to yell through that to everybody. And I'm like, dude, I would have scared the shit out of us because I was trying.
I know, but karma got us because that's the night the tornado sirens all went off and we had to flee to the basement.
Yeah, so we were all barricaded in their basement because a tornado came, and it actually was spotted like not even a quarter mile from where we were.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, if I die, I'm dying with all of you. And I'm looking at Rick, Patty. I'm looking at my cousin. I'm like, this is the group. I was like, oh, no.
Rick was out there one night that he wanted to stay the night by himself. It's like, hey, that's all right. I said, there's nobody here tonight. He came out and helped me do some stuff. I said, just hang out by yourself. So he said, yeah, I'm just gonna spend the night in the building. 45 minutes later, he came out and said, screw that. I'm not doing that. So he's not as tough as he seemed like at times.
No. Because I was seeing that in a lot of like the investigations we would do. And I'm like, hey, where's that big mean guy, that military guy? Well, he's not tonight. Because, I sit there and I'm like, hey, we can be big and bad, but when it comes to something that we can't physically see, that's when it's a different, we're in a different world, right? So it's like, just gonna take it easy on you. I don't want to get pushed down those steps. I don't want to get thrown out of the window.
So what is new with you guys? What's changed? Anything?
Not really much.
We make decisions now. That's about it.
Makes what?
I said you make me make my own decisions, which I still don't like.
She makes them, but she'll make them,
I mean,
and
I
then
still
she'll
ask
go.
him. I'm like, what would you do?
And like, no, and my response is, no, you tell me what you would do, and I'll let you know if I think it's right.
He's going to have a bracelet, WWRD.
Yeah,
what would
what
Robbin
would Robbin do?
Yep.
We told her we were going to get her T-shirt or something like that said that. So yeah,
That would be great.
We'll
And
sell him the new Ashmore T-shirt. What would Robbin do?
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And Southern Ohio Paranormal Society, that's a new group. They're firefighters here in not far from us. And they just said beautiful place. I bet that was a phenomenal investigation. You guys need to go check it out. Reach out to these two right here. Check their calendar out. Go to their Facebook, Ashmore Estates.
How long was our drive again? I forgot.
Our drive was a little over 3.5 hours, I think. Not major.
yeah, that should be about right. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad at all.
Those guys are firefighters because I'm a trustee of our fire department here in town.
Cool. So yeah, they're new. We're going to have them on our show in June.
Yep.
And being in that line of work, you're going into these buildings, so you're going to hear what oh, okay, I know what that is. When they're doing trainings and things. But I go through a lot of buildings when I do fire as well, looking at inspections and things. And, the owners can't meet me. So they're like, hey, here's the code to the lockbox. Just get with me after you're done. Well, they don't tell me where the electrical is, the lights. When I'm walking through the building, they don't tell me. They call me up middle of the walkthrough. Hey, you know where you are? No. You're in Cincinnati. I know I'm in Cincinnati. Yes. Well, you know that you should pull your car in the building, because if you don't, it'll probably be sitting on bricks. And I'm like, do what?
Yeah.
So, so there's all kinds of crazy things that goes on. Here we go. So they're like, oh, definitely. We will reach out. We just added a third to our team. We're excited.
Nice.
So there you go, guys. I'm all about marketing and helping everybody out.
Right. And in case you missed the beginning, there's also places to sleep there. So, you go and you
Climate control.
Plan overnight.
Yep.
But bring snacks.
Yep. Yeah, one of my strangest experiences was responding on a fire call. It was actually an EMS call, but yeah, we had a EMS call with a guy, and that was probably one of my strangest experiences we've ever encountered, with three of us seeing the same thing.
Like what?
What did you guys see?
We were taking care of a guy that had a massive skin tear, where, just to give you the really, really short version, because it has nothing to do with Ashmore, but we were taking care of a guy that had a skin tear. He was in the hospital. When he went in there, he had a stroke. The doctor told his wife he'll never come out alive. She goes home and commits suicide. He ends up getting out alive. And so he's home and ends up tripping and falling as he's coming in the house one day. So I'm wrapping his leg up, and I asked him, I said, hey, when we're done here, is your wife going to be able to change this for you? And he said, my wife's in heaven. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. I apologize. And I said, well, is your caregiver going to do it? And he's like, no, it's just me here. And while I'm looking up, and about 20 feet away from me, I'm seeing a full body apparition standing there in the kitchen. And so we leave the room, we walk out, I get everything done, we take off, pick our stuff up. And two of the other EMTs with me said, did he say he's alone? And I said, yeah. And he said, you didn't see the woman standing in the kitchen? And I said, well, that's why I asked about the caregiver. And he said, and the other guy said, yeah, I saw her too. It's like, so all three of us seen the same woman standing in the guy's kitchen in the middle of the afternoon. So it doesn't, just like we teach at Ashmore, you don't have to investigate at night. You can investigate during the day.
That's true.
Absolutely.
It don't matter if the lights are on or off. Especially here, I've had people who literally will come in, especially at night, and they will turn every light on in the building, literally. And they
Why?
still have just as much activity as they do if it's pitch dark.
People,
So,
when I walk the basement, it don't matter if it's the sunniest day in the world. It's still got that dark feel. I
Yeah.
don't care what you say.
Yeah.
You don't need to be investigating at night. You can investigate in that building any time of the day.
Yep. I mean,
We actually kind of chuckle about it, about, you know, people when they come in are like, we need to turn everything off. And they almost come down to like, they want to black out anything that like an LED on an appliance or something. Like, no, we can't have any. It's got to be completely black in here. It's like, really? Okay.
Really?
We're just kind of like wander away, and it's like, yeah, okay. See you, bye.
Go ahead, do your thing.
Yep, have fun with that.
Exactly. So any big events that you guys have going on this summer at Ashmore?
so I always do a kids' day out here twice a year.
That's right.
Where we do one in the spring and one in the fall. Actually, it's coming up this Saturday, the 26th. There are still tickets if anybody's interested. And all the ticket sales we donate to a place called Camp New Hope, which is local here. It's a special needs camp for children and adults. I have a son that's autistic, and then one of the other ladies that helps us out, she has a couple kids on the spectrum. So we do that for them. Kids Day is basically, we do it during the day and the afternoon. Kids come in, we show them the equipment and how it's used, how to investigate. And then the last hour or so, they get to kind of free roam and do with their own thing, choose what equipment they want to use. And then we'll do that again in September. It's the last Saturday in September. And then we also do a teen night. So 13 to 17 can come in.
Yeah.
At nighttime. We kind of do the same thing. We show them the equipment, how to use it, how to investigate. And ticket sales from that also goes to Camp New Hope. So
That is awesome.
Yeah, those are a few things we do. It's always a good time. It's always, the energy is always crazy in the building.
Especially with the kids. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They always get some crazy activity. I've actually seen the blocks fall over in Mary and Margaret's room before when we had a couple kids in there. Had some balls roll. It's a crazy good time.
You know, that's like I tell people when we're investigating buildings like those, don't just stand there. You know, if you think you're talking to a child, why don't you get down? You know, because if I was a kid, I wouldn't want to just talk to somebody that's just standing there like, hey, you know, get down, interact, take some balls, jacks, whatever you know. But I bet you with the kids investigating now, has anyone like set up cameras or, you know, that's been observing like you guys to see if there's actually been anything real? You know how they are, kids. They'll be like, and then leave the area. It's like, no, you need to stay.
Not that I know of. I know people like take pictures and stuff when they're there, but I don't know that anybody's actually caught anything that I know of. I think some people have got some EVPs, but they've never like been sent to me or sent to us or anything like that. So I don't know exactly what they've caught. But like I said, we've had the blocks fall over. We've had a balloon move before. So it's little things like that. We've had stuff come through the spirit box when we're doing that. Where the kids have actually reacted to it before anybody says anything. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, it's crazy like how they react to the kids. But I think there's a lot of kid spirits over there also though. I think that's a lot of mischievous things, especially with the light that gets played with all the time.
I totally agree with the kids. There's a lot of kid spirits.
Yeah.
A lot of like jokesters in their ways, you know, because I felt like that was a lot that I saw on the third floor. And I think that was some of the stuff that we were getting when we were all together on the second floor that night is some reaction, because wasn't it Bonnie and Bob was standing close to this ball, and they had a tripwire not far from the ball, straight down the center of the hallway on the second floor. And they both said at the same time, you're seeing the ball like, you know, somebody putting their foot on the top of the ball and it would roll like that. Mm-hmm. They both saw that. And I'm like, just keep doing your thing. And I'm like, Bob, get your direct link out right now for this. And we were getting some amazing stuff that night. and just we weren't talking about anything negative. We were talking about positive stuff, stuff that they would remember, stuff, just asking them about their day here, or, and it was amazing. So so guys, definitely check that out. Donna, yes, Ashmore is amazing to me. I like it. I really do. And we need to get out there more. So I will be getting with Ashley for 2026 because we should do an event there for, one of our episodes, because we started doing a thing with another team up that the gentleman, Carlo, that owns the Haunted Bill Manor. We actually grouped up and started a YouTube, Amazon Prime team that we're going to start videoing. And we did our pilot 2 weeks ago. So we're going into locations. So we're booked, I think, pretty much this year. But for 2026, I think your guys' place would be awesome.
All right. Sounds like a good idea.
Because we're going to be at one of them, and I know Pine Lawn isn't far from. How far away is Pine Lawn from you guys?
Like an hour and 20 minutes, I think, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah, it's about that.
Well, we went down there, Patty and I and Carlo. We drove down to talk to them, the owners, husband and wife. Mm-hmm. And we're going to do an event there next year. Hopefully, if things go well for him to get it ready, we can do it. So be on the lookout for an invite for that, since it's close to you guys. Yeah. And this weekend we're going to be seeing. We're going to be over at Mike's at the Rhodes Hotel the 26th.
Yep. Well, Crystal might be up that way. Mike won't be, but Crystal should be there.
Okay. Yeah. Well, and that's my first. This will be my first visit at Rhodes, so I'm looking forward to
Rhodes
it.
is another good place. You'll like it.
Yeah.
Stay in roommate. Nothing ever happens in there.
Where's it at?
Listen to him.
That doesn't sound suspicious at all.
What did he say? What room?
Don't listen to him.
I'm going to go see my roommate.
My room is number 8. That's where I always stay every time I'm there.
And he said nothing happens. Look at Ashley. That's probably the most active place.
I probably stayed in that room at least.
So I say, you stay in roommate? Okay, that's where I'll stay when I go there, right? Sure.
Yeah.
Because nothing ever happens to the person that's as sensitive as a rock. So I wake up about, 2 a.m, and between the bed and the window in that room, there's just a tall black shadow.
Oh, nice.
Nothing ever happens. It's fine.
Okay, then I'm going to have to go in there and I'm going to do a live and say, hey, Robbin told me this is the best place to hang.
Yeah.
I probably stayed in there at least, 12 to 20 times.
I'll have to definitely check that one out. And then everybody in the live will be like, there's a shadow behind you. No, that's one of the teammates.
Yeah.
You'll come running out.
I'll come running out like a girl, screaming like a girl.
See, Dana made a comment in there. Dana and I were out there one night when I don't think either one of us, I know I didn't, and I don't think she did, but there was a famous comedian out there at Ashmore that we did not realize at that time because he just kind of got his feet wet into the comedy circuit, and that was Matt Rife.
Okay.
Yeah, he was out investigating at Ashmore. So now today, if people knew it, they'd be lined up around the building there trying to get inside.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he's at Ashmore? Yeah, as soon as you say, something, boom, everybody's out there. So I'm sure you guys are getting YouTube is big now, of course, with all the shows, people putting out their stuff. I'm sure you guys are getting a lot of bookings for that. Dana said he was a fun guy.
Yep. Yeah, he was. He was a good guy.
Or do they tell you they're wanting to film for YouTube when they rent the location?
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Yeah. Yeah, it just depends.
Right now, because there's so many venues out there that are apprehensive and letting people do YouTube stuff.
That's right.
They have problems. I've always taken a stance, and she can change if she wants to, but I've always taken a chance. I don't care. So, because, honestly, and nothing knocking YouTubers whatsoever, but there's so many of them out there now. And if they want to put stuff up there that's just basically wrong, people aren't going to watch their stuff anyway. No. So they throw it out there with all the wrong history. 2 or 3 different people are going to watch this and say, that's not right. I know that's not right. That's not what that place does or has. So they're like, we're not watching anything else I got.
And they're just doing it for the follows and the likes, you know.
Mhm.
Yep.
They're not doing
Of course,
it for the
when I first started doing this, I used to get the phone calls all the time, like, we're going to make you famous. We're going to really, help boost your ratings and help do this. I'm like, you only call me because the building was famous. I mean, so, when I go look at the YouTube stuff and they're like, yeah, you got 33 subscribers. I think I can help you more than you can help me. So,
Yeah, I think you're filming in my building to help you, buddy. I was going to say the Ashmore don't need no help.
Well, and I've already turned down. I mean, I turned down a TV network stuff before, so it wouldn't be the first. And if I had anything to do with it, and when she puts her shirt on, it probably won't be the last, because they don't, if they're not doing things the way that I'm not telling them how to do it, but when I watch their episodes, if I don't like what they're doing, it's like, forget it. And
I know the certain one you're talking about, and if that word certain thing happened, no, that wouldn't happen either. So
there's so many into the networks. I've turned them down just doing some of their shows. I'm not going to say names, but if you read what you're signing, they're going to pretty much make you look like a clown in a circus. They don't care if they expose you, whatever, because they're not in this community. They're just trying to make $1 to put you, an episode on their show. So, yeah, I say no to that too. I'm like, no, do I look like I was born yesterday? I don't think so.
Yeah, and they change what you say around too.
Yeah, they change it around.
On a lot of the YouTube stuff I've been on now since I've been out here and doing this, I've noticed that a lot of times what you say, they will mix around and mix up, and it's never the way you actually said it.
Yeah, and it's like, I didn't say that. I wasn't there in the middle of the night when they were. I said that at the beginning of the day. Yeah. So they crop it and edit it where they want it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then there's so many apps that now they can use they got your voice, so they can say anything they want.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the networks will want you to come out and say certain things at the end.
Yeah.
They'll just want you. They just want you to say words, and then they can put it all together after that.
You know what? One of the best that I've ever worked with, being part of the Taps family, working with Jason, when I had them in Waynesville investigating a friend's place. It's called Buckeye Charm. It's an old Catholic church converted into a shop, like a women's country clothing his wife runs. And when Jason jumps out of the SUV, when we met at the same time, he comes up and he says, let's take a walk. We're walking down an alley, and he goes, let me tell you something. If any of these people, and he's turned around and pointed at him, he said, if any of those people try to make you say something or change your words, you tell me right away, I will put their happy ass on an airplane and send them home. And since then, the producer came over, and every one of them was the sweetest, the nicest. And when I'm doing my interviews, sitting in certain places or standing, I'm like, you're not going to switch that around, are you? Oh, no, we're not allowed to switch it around. I'm like, okay, just making sure. But yeah, you just got to watch some of that stuff, because they will switch your wording around. They will. And then you're watching it on TV and you're like, I never said that. I never did that. Yep. That's not the history of the building.
Or you do things like I do, and you turn down TV shows because they tell you can't wear shorts.
You did tell me that.
Yeah.
And, and then you roll your eyes at ZB on national television, and people notice that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
I don't get it. I would say just be natural, be yourself. If wearing shorts is what you do all summer and all winter, do it. What's that got to do with what I'm doing? It makes no sense. But people want full control. And you said individuals, and I'm going to say him again, ZB, he would like full control of everything that's involved around him. So I get it.
Well, when Ghost Hunters actually filmed out there, this is before I owned it, Jason said the place is not haunted.
Oh, really? Well, he said the same thing about Waverly Hills, too.
So, but at the same time, I think a lot of it, he was following around the other TV show in some of the same locations they were doing. And there was a little tiff between them. So I don't know. But yeah, he said it wasn't, even though they broke and Adam had something grab his shoulder and they had a couple other things happening, but he told and I have no idea who he even talked to, because the lady that he was out there with, it's like, no idea who she even was. So I don't know. I mean, it wasn't. They didn't film when I was there, but I knew the previous owners, and it's like, who is that? Who is this woman? It's like she was just a random person who was almost there. So
she was just walking down the street. Hey, this
probably. Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Or she was friends with your neighbors at the time we were there.
No. Please, no, never again. Never.
Yeah, never again.
Especially the dog. Like, God.
Yeah, the dogs. Yeah, they were coming over that morning, all morning. I'm like, okay. Well, I'm glad that's away from you guys now.
Me too.
Yes.
I've seen Crystal's on there. I meant the Crystal Couch. Huh? Maybe she'll be. She might be there on over the weekend.
Yeah, Crystal. We will be there at Rhodes on the 26th Saturday. I want to share this. I love Larry. Does amazing job. He's making everybody one now.
I love
and I haven't jumped on his wagon yet, so I'm going to have to reach out. Like, hey, do your magic. But that's all.
I kind of surprised her with that today. She didn't know I was having it done.
Yeah, I didn't know he was doing that, and he sent it to me.
That is so great. There's Crystal. Hey, we will be at Rhodes with Pathfinders Paranormal Society. So, yeah, looking forward to that. My first investigation there, so I'm excited.
Crystal, update your profile picture, please. You got 14 inches of hair.
Like
you got 14 inches of hair now compared to that butch cut.
That's nothing like her.
Gina will be there this weekend, actually.
Well, you're better off that way anyway.
Oh, my God.
It's terrible.
Yeah, I've known Mike for a long time when he lived down in Cincinnati years ago.
Yep.
And yeah, good guy. Good guy. So where can people find you? We're coming to the end. Where can people find you guys?
I'm up here in the theater at Auburn right now.
I'm literally across the yard from Ashmore Estates. Literally.
Yeah. So you're on Facebook. You got a website?
Yes. Yeah. Facebook. And then our website is ashmoreestates.net.
I'm going to put that in here. So everybody knows where to go to the website. Go to www.ashmoreestates.net. Look at their calendar. Get on a date on that calendar. They're having that event this weekend. If that'd be another awesome one, is just to watch the younger people. That'd be fun.
Yeah. It's always a good time.
I think you've only got like one Friday open until November, don't you?
They're
like in August.
I think I had somebody email me about it, so maybe yes or no. Yeah. Otherwise, Friday or Saturdays are gone until November.
Wow, that's
so
great.
A Saturday for next year, I would say sooner than later because I've already had a couple people book 2 Saturdays for next year already.
Okay, I'll get with you for 2026, and I know Jenny wants to do another week, some weekend. So we'll do.
I would definitely pick one sooner than later.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us. And I know I had a few people that were interested in the building, and I know they'll probably reach out to you to get something going. So again, thanks again. Good luck with everything, and we'll get in touch and we'll get a date for 2026.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, guys. What a great show. Two great people, guys. A lot of people have been to Ashmore a bunch of times. Me and Patty's been once. Mm-hmm. We look forward to going back. Definitely a place we can get to do an episode for sure. I'll get with Carlo. I'll just post it tonight. Definitely check it out. If you've not, check it out.
Worth a road trip for sure.
Oh, yeah. It's just 3.5 hours from over here where we are, and we're in northern Cincinnati. So just depends on where you're at. And some people, 3.5 hours, that's, a lot of people think that that's a lot. But Not really, because I drive that. And I have a rule when we investigate. If it's around 3 to 3.5 hours, I will drive home because I'm getting through the investigation. I'm already pumped, so I can drive home. Any more than that, I'm ready to fall asleep because Patty, she gets tired and she doesn't fall asleep, but she gets comfortable. And then I'm like blaring up the cool air, and freezing her to death.
The cold air and the country.
Look at Bob. Why was you quiet tonight?
Yeah, what the heck?
Where were you, man? Yeah, and the drive through the country gets Patty. But till I slow down because a deer is running across the road.
No, I was referring to your country music.
Oh, country music. Yeah, I like country music, so sorry. But guys, thanks again for coming on. Join us next week as we speak with Paranormal Rock Down. And we look forward to that. There are events coming up in the summer. And so, yeah. Guys, thanks again. Thank you for your support. Thanks to Robbin and Ashley for coming on and joining us this last hour on All Things Creepy. Our focus is to bring you some great content, great guests. So again, we're looking for guests for June, July. So if you know anybody, shoot us a message. Guys, again, thanks again, and always keep looking into the unknown.